الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا المصطفى. قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فلما بلغ مجمع البحرين نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا صدق الله العظيم. So a quick recap of verse number 61 in Surah Al-Kahf, where we had introduced the chapter or the story or the incident or the narrative of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, and according to the authentic narration, we're in his meeting with Khadir alayhi salatu wassalam, and he had with him his companion, his helper, his associate, Yusha' bin Nun. There are some narrations that suggest that Yusha' bin Nun alayhi salatu wasalam was his maternal nephew, but these are not established or authenticated, but they do appear in the historical narrations. In Ma'arif al-Quran, another incident or another fa'idah, another benefit, another adab or etiquette that is extracted. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he tells his companion, La abrahu, I will continue walking, I will continue traversing until I reach the conversion of the two oceans or even a greater period of time. In Ma'arif al-Quran, the Mufassir writes that this is such a beautiful etiquette from Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, that he didn't just tell his helper, he didn't just tell his associate Yusha' bin Nun alayhi salatu wasalam, come, we're going, let's go, follow me, do this, do that. He explained to him, this is what we're going for. This is how long we're traveling. This is our destination. This is our journey. You don't just tell the employee, tomorrow Saturday, come 8 o'clock, you have to be here on time, be here. And they wait, why do I have to be here at 8? What's going on? Why am I coming an hour early to work? Where are we going? What is the journey? Get in the car, we're going. Don't ask me where we're going. Don't ask me where we're stopping. Just get it. No, wait, where are we going? What is the destination? This is the beauty of Islam. This is what attracts people to Islam. Was it not Thumama? Later on, radiyallahu an, he was tied to the pillar of Masjid al-Nabawi. The Prophet ﷺ comes, he says, Thumama, what do you have to say? He says, In taqtul dha damin, wa in tun'am ala shakir. He says, if you kill me, you're killing a person whose blood will be avenged, and revenge will be taken. وَإِن تُنْعِمْ تُنْعِمْ عَلَى شَاكِرٍ. But if you are to spare me and bless me, then you are giving a blessing to a person who will reciprocate with gratitude. Prophet ﷺ said, let him go. Thumama then goes. There's a nearby body of water, a well. He takes the spiritual ghusl. He comes back. He tells the Prophet ﷺ, قَبْلَ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ. It was not just 3 days ago. There was no man I hated more than you. And 72 hours later, there's no man I love more than you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fadala ibn Umair radiyallahu an, Hafid ibn Qayyim makes mention of this in Zadul Ma'ada. He says, Fadala, he came and he had the plan and the plot to assassinate the Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He comes, he sees the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَوَضَعَ يَدَهُ عَلَى صَدْرِهِ. He puts his hand on his chest. He says, Tumama, what are you thinking? Tumama, what are you thinking? Fudala, he says, Fudala, what are you thinking? Fudala bin Umair radiyallahu anhu, I'm not thinking about anything. He then accepts Islam at the hands of the Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Fudala, he comes out, he meets a woman that he had previous relations with, and she invites him, seduces him. قالت هلم إلى الحديث فقلت لا يأبى عليك الله والإسلام لو رأيت محمدا وقبيله بالفتح لرأيت دين الله أضحى بينا والشرك يغشى وجهه الإظلام. He says, Fudala, he had this clash of emotions. I just met the Prophet ﷺ. If you were to meet him and you were to see the beauty, oh, you would accept the change as well. It was Marthad ibn Abi Marthad Ghanawi radiyallahu an. He had relations with the woman Anaq. Later on, Marthad radiyallahu an accepts his Islam. The woman comes to him. She said she was just going over previous times and they were infatuated. There was an inclination, there was love, there was a crush. He said, no, this is haram. Let's get married. And then the ayahs were and I'm mentioning these so you can see how Islam comes to change people. That they had that spiritual reformation. That it came to take them out of darkness and put them into nur in all their etiquettes and all their mannerisms. Then the ayah was revealed, وَلَا تَنْكِحُ الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ وَلَأَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. That even if the latter impresses you more, there can be no one like a believing woman. In the hadith of Bukhari, Abu Dharr radiyallahu anhu, in the very opening chapters of Bukhari, لَقِيتُ أَبَا ذَرٍ بِالرَّبَذَةِ. He says, I met Abu Dhar at a place called Rabada. وَعَلَيْهِ حُلَّةٌ وَعَلَى غُلَامِهِ حُلَّةٌ. He was clad in a garment, and on his servant was the same exact garment. Nowadays, people want to distinguish themselves. Oh, I'm a surgeon. I drive a BMW. The nurses drive a Toyota. Oh, I'm the CEO of the company. I drive a Mercedes. These guys, I wear this. I eat this. No, he says, وَعَلَيْهِ حُلَّةٌ وَعَلَى غُلَامِ حُلَّةٌ. They were wearing the same thing. He says, Ya Aba Dhar, what is this? What is this? What's going on here? He says, أَيَّرْتُهُ بِأُمِّهِ أَيَّرْتُهُ بِأُمِّهِ. I had made fun of him and rebuked him about his mother. And in the footnotes, you see, with reference to Kirmani, what remarks were made. He had a slip of the mind in anger. It was a mistake, a mishap. But what he said had a racial profile. The Prophet ﷺ rebuked him. He says, what? إِنَّكَ امْرُؤٌ فِيكَ جَاهِلِيَّةٌ إِنَّكَ امْرُؤٌ فِيكَ جَاهِلِيَّةٌ. O Abu Dhar, I seem to be getting the stench of ignorance coming from you. هَذَا أَخُوك. You have a servant, a helper. This is your brother. Feed him from what you eat. وَأَلْبِسْ مِمَّا تُلْبَسْ. Let clothe him in what you wear. وَلَا تُكَلِّفُوهُم. And do not burden them and put too heavy a task on them. إِن كَلَّفْتُمُوهُمْ فَأَعِينُوهُمْ. If you burden them, then help them out in their task. This is the beauty of Islam. So Musa ﷺ didn't just tell, oh, we're going. He said, no, this is the plan. This is the destination. This is where we are going. That takes us into verse number 62, which I just recited. If we remember to recall, I said in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he says that in this incident, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, خُذْ حُوتًا فِي مِكْتَلٍ. Take the fish in the basket. Put the fish in the basket. فَإِذَا فَقَدْتَهُ فَهُوَ ثَمَّ. When the fish, miraculously Allah gives it life, it jumps out the basket, then Khadir will be there. You will find him there. Now, there is a difference of opinion. Some say, was the fish the same provision that they were eating, or was what they were eating different and the fish was different? Were they two separate entities? Were they eating from the fish and that was their provision, or did they have provision and the fish was something else? Ibn Atiyah, rahimahullah, Ibn Atiyah, he says, no, they were one and the same. It was a grilled fish, they were eating from it, it was their provision, and this was also the fish that would jump out and disclose where Khadr alayhi salatu wasalam was. So they go, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَا. They come to where the actual conversion of the two seas were. And over there was a sakhra, a boulder, a stone, as comes in previous verses. And Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he puts his head and he goes to sleep. Now they're taking a break. And in Bayanul Quran, the Mufassir writes, and they're bringing all these different points and all these different fa'idah and benefits. He says, دَلَّ على أن حمل الزاد لا ينافي الكمال. دل على أن حمل الزاد لا ينافي الكمال. He said, this shows that to take provision on a journey, to make the necessary requirements, to take the necessary steps in a journey, this does not go against tawakkul. This does not contradict nobility, that, oh, we just have reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dalla ala anna haml az-zad. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, they took provision, they took food. They come to the conversion of the two seas. And Musa alayhi salatu wasalam goes to sleep. Now as he's sleeping, the fish jumps out the basket. فَاتَّخَذَ سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ سَرَبًا. And the fish, saraba, tunnel. The fish then begins to tunnel into the water. And Yusha' bin Nun alayhi salatu wasalam is watching and observing this happening. He sees the fish jump out the basket and tunnel into the water. And he says, when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam wakes up, I will inform him about this incident. When Musa alayhi salatu wasalam wakes up, I will inform him about this incident. متى يستيقظ موسى عليه الصلاة والسلام سأخبره. When he wakes, I will tell him. But what happened? He forgets. He forgets. He doesn't remember. He forgets. Now, there is two interesting points here. One, and in Tafsir Uthmani he writes, how did Yusha' bin Nun alayhi salatu wasalam forget something like this? How could you forget a fish jumping out of a basket that's been grilled and tunneling into the water? He says, one, in Tafsir Uthmani, he says, number one, when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam tasked Yusha' with this, He took this task very lightly. He didn't give it any importance. He didn't give it any priority. He said, how could I miss a fish jumping out of a basket? I could never miss this. He didn't give it any importance and priority. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him a lesson. When the senior gives the junior a requirement, an order, an instruction, make it a point, make it a priority, make it important. Your mother tells you, oh, when you go out, get this from the supermarket. What happens? You walk outside the house, now you have a phone, oh, forget the milk. Gone, left your mind. Your dad tells you, oh, go and get this done. What happens? Forgot, left the mind. This happens how often? Number two, when a person deems something to be small, this is very important. When a person deems something to be small, and he says, oh, that's going to be an easy task, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it challenging. So in the battle of Hunayn, this is a prime example, the battle of Hunayn. Sahaba radiallahu anhum, this was the first battle. They were outnumbering the enemy. They said, man, this is going to be an easy battle. For the first time, we are in surplus. We're the upper hand. We have the numbers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, you think it's going to be easy. The battle of Hunayn was one of the most challenging battles. If you think it's easy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not easy. Take everything with importance. Number two, so it slipped his mind. Number two, Yusha bin Nun, he was also tired and he was going through a lot of journey. In journey, people are tired. They have this on their mind, that on their mind. His mind was clouded with different thoughts and different ideas running around his head, and he's tired and he's physically tired, mental, everything. That's journey, that's journey. And coupled with the fact that Yusha bin Nun is in the suhbah of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, and in the company of a prophet, miracles are happening all the time. So here you have a fish jumping into the water, but over there Musa alayhi salatu wasalam split the sea in half, and over there he's making food come manna wa salwa, and over there he's having water spring out of a rock. So miracles were happening all the time. So this one miracle, it was nothing out of the ordinary. So it slipped his mind. Regardless of the reason, nasiya hutahuma. They forgot the fish. They forgot the fish. فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا فلما جاوزا. So they continued walking and they continued on their journey. And in the narrations, they traveled for a full day and a full night, 24 hours travel. And in Ma'arif al-Quran, he writes, look at how this incident is taking place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding Musa alayhi salam that knowledge is إِذْ لَمْ يَرُدَّ الْعِلْمَ إِلَيْهِ. Knowledge is with me. وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. Allahu a'lam. Allah is the one who knows the most. There's a servant who knows more. كيف هو? كيف به? أين هو? Where can I find him? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give Musa the exact location. He's going to be here. He doesn't give him the exact coordinates. He says, you know what? He's at the merging of the two seas. There's a fish. When the fish jumps out, that's where you're going to find. There's so much ambiguity, so much vagueness. Musa, where is he? You could tell a person, meet me at Tyson's Mall. Now that guy's in the parking bay, you're in the food court, he's at this store, you're on the third floor, he's on the first, and this is just a mall. This is a whole conversion of the seas. So much ambiguity and vague. He writes, this is how knowledge is accessed. This is how ilm is attained. This is how knowledge is given. You cannot substitute the acquisition of knowledge by the transmission of information. You want information, go online. You'll get the whole printout of Google. They have all this documents. You'll get all the information. But knowledge is accessed by zuhud. Knowledge is accessed by juhud. You strive, and that is how knowledge is given. In Ma'arif al-Quran, he writes that when you look at Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he was a shari'. وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. His high mark was he spoke with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was given the second revelation that's the best after the Quran, the Torah. He was from the Ulul Azm. And he was given all the knowledge and all the ahkam and the awamir, and he had numbers. Khadr, there is ala ikhtilaf al-aqwal alayhi salatu wasalam, is he a nabi or a wali? The majhur opinion is he was a nabi, and we'll expound later on. He was gifted with a science called Asrarul Kawniyya. Asrarul Kawniyya. Asrarul Kawniyya is the secrets of the happenings of the world. Life, death, rain, this guy's going to come into power, this guy's going to fall. Asrarul Kawniyya, the sciences of the world. Now, without any ikhtilaf, it is the majhur opinion. It is the jami', the opinion of everyone. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam in rank is superior than Khadr alayhi salatu wasalam. Yes, in this regard, in the Asrarul Kawniyya, Khadr had priority. We call this academically juz'i fadila. Juz'i fadila. So, for example, in the hadith, when Rasulullah is talking about Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he's in the jail. The envoy comes. Tell us about this dream of the king. He gives him the interpretation. The guy goes. He tells the king. The king says, "Oh, Yusuf, go take him out the jail. Go take him out the jail." Then what does Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam say? Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not leaving this jail until you clear my name with those women. قُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا عَلِمْنَا عَلَيْهِ مِنْ سُوءٍ. I'm not leaving this jail until you tell those women to clear my name. Prophet ﷺ, he says, لو لبثت ما لبث يوسف في السجن لأجبت الداعي. If I was in his position, I would have just accepted it when the envoy came. Now this is not to say Yusuf is better than Muhammad ﷺ, but they both have it. But it's a juz'i fadila. So in this regard, Asrarul Kawniyya, he had juz'i fadila. But there is no doubt that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was more learned and more scholarly and more erudite than him. But he claimed knowledge and Allah didn't like it. What can one say about us who have no knowledge, but yet we're so bold, brazen, and audacious to say, "Oh, I know, I know." We have no knowledge, but yet we're so bold to say we have knowledge. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam had knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "You still don't have anything." This knowledge is accessed when you make jihad. He strived, he worked hard. He says, خَرَجْتُ السِّجِسْتَانِ بِنِيَّةِ طَلَبِ الْعِلْمِ. He said, I left, and I read this in the book, صفحات من صبر العلماء على تشديد العلم, that how the ulama persevered on learning knowledge. He says, خرجت من سجستان بنية طلب العلم. He said, I left from Sijistan to learn deen. A woman came knocking at the door. She wanted to learn. She said, I'll pay you, I want to learn. He says, no, I'm not accepting. She says, okay, then you are man, I'm woman. We could get married, enter into a halal union, just so I could learn at your feet. He says, no, وَلَا أُوثِرَنَّ عَلَى طَلَبِ الْعِلْمِ شَيْئًا. He says, I came here with the direct intention of learning knowledge. I will not dilute and corrupt my intention with any wedding. I came here for this reason. This is how knowledge is attained. فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَا, when they continue traveling a day and a night, قَالَ لِفَتَاهُ آتِنَا غَدَاءَنَا. Then he tells his helper, bring the lunch. غَدَاءَنَا. Al-ghada is the meal one will have before the afternoon, the mid-morning. Before the noon, he will have the lunch, brunch, breakfast, whatever, before noon. آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا. Surely we are tired from our journey. دل, in Bayan al-Quran he writes, دل على أن إظهار المرض والنصب لا ينافي الكمال. He says this indicates that the person, it's a hot day, he's fasting. He says, oh, I'm feeling weak. It's a hot day, I'm feeling thirsty. He's standing in, oh, my legs are tired. This is not, and why are you complaining? No, he's just explaining, I'm feeling tired. دل على أن إظهار المرض والنصب لا ينافي الكمال. To express, oh, I'm feeling tired, on ibadah, without complaining or without becoming, oh, I'm so tired, without complaining and taking it to the extreme, this does not negate or contradict nobility. We have to understand the deen. This is imperative. We understand the deen in its holistic nature. Ayyub alayhi salatu wasalam, أني مسني يضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. I'm feeling tired. I'm fasting. I'm feeling tired. Why are you complaining? قال إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون. Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, as he's building the ark, if you're mocking at us, the day is coming, we will mock at you. دل على أن الجواب المثل لا ينافي مكارم الأخلاق. it indicates that to respond in a like manner, it does not contradict the nobility and good character. This is the beauty of the religion. And every single thing from the Quran, there is a point that can be reflected from. He says, آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا. Now, when he's asking for the food, he opens the basket. He says, oops. Yusha bin Nun alayhi salatu wasalam says, oops. قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة. Do you remember when we were by that boulder and the fish actually jumped out? The fish actually jumped out over there. And this is why Ibn Atiyah rahimahullah has the opinion it was one and the same. The food and the provision and the fish was one and the same. إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت. I actually forgot the fish back over there. وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان. And it was Shaitan who made me forget. In every single wrongdoing, without a doubt, there is some devilish influence. This is the devil. وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان. This is the Shaitan who made me forget. Now there comes a whole academic debate. I'll try to make it quick. أن اعتراء الشيطان, that the whispers of the devil, if you are taking the opinion that at this time Yusha bin Nun rahimahullah alayhi salatu wasalam was a prophet, أن اعتراء الشيطان, then the whispers of the devil, it can lead a prophet into making an error, into making a slip, but it is not mufdi ila al-ma'siyah. It is not leading him to sin. It is not like us. We get a whisper from the devil and then we indulge in something haram. Yusha bin Nun, if he was a prophet at that time, he got the i'tira of the devil and it made him forget. He forgot the fish. Prophet ﷺ forgot to say, Insha'Allah. Yusuf ﷺ forgot to remember Allah in the prison. And this happens to all the prophets. They are human. They are human. But the i'tira of shaitan is not mufdi ila al-ma'siyah. It does not take them towards the sin. He says, وَمَا أَنسَانِهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانِ. It was shaitan who made me forget. وَاتَّخَذَ سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ عَجَبًا. And actually the fish, it went into the water and it was very ajib and amazing. It tunneled into the water. What is the takeaway? That to gain knowledge, it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of juhd. I mentioned the other day, تغرب عن الأوطان في طلب العلا وسافر ففي السفر خمس فوائد تفرج الهم واكتساب معيشتي وعلم وآداب وصحبة ماجدي. Prophet ﷺ says, كن عالما, either be a learned person, أو متعلما, or the one who is studying, أو مستمعا, or the one who is listening, أو محبا, the one who loves knowledge. But don't be the first who turns away and is turning a blind eye. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives understanding and tawfiq. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت تبارك ربنا وتعاليت نستغفرك ربنا ونتوب إليك. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واهد الناس جميعا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب القبر والنار. اللهم أحسن ختامنا وتوفنا على كلمة لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر وعذاب الحشر وعذاب الدين واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الأبرار. اللهم اجعل قبرنا روضة من رياض الجنة ولا تجعل قبرنا حفرة من حفر النار. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اصلح أحوالنا وأحوال المسلمين. اللهم ثبت أقدامنا وأقدام المسلمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وصلى الله وسلم